Thank you everybody for staying. We're very happy to be here. We are then from Evolution Digital, which we're going to introduce you to a little bit here, and we have a few slides that we want to take you through. We're going to do a little introduction of ourselves, about Evolution Digital. We come from the TV world, so we will say a few words about TV and a few more words about the broadband portfolio. And a little bit about Bloom. Future we can take another time.
Thank you for the invitation to come. Company based in the US, in Denver, Colorado. Small organization made up of people from the cable industry mostly. I've been in the industry for 30 to 40 years, but we really are focused on the needs of the cable industry. And so the DOCSIS, all the conversations you had this morning about the DOCSIS network, we're very familiar with that. Our focus in our company is really at the edge of the network. Once the access point terminates in the home, our products and services that we offer are really inside the home. So video devices, broadband devices, routers, mesh network components, and so forth. But more importantly, we also see the need for value-added services. So it's one thing to have hardware to be priced competitively, but in this competitive marketplace, you need new services to compete against other operators in your space, to differentiate you from other cable operators or service providers. So what you'll see today here is really, we'll try to give you a highlight of our product portfolio, and more importantly, what we're doing with that hardware to make more interesting services that you can offer to your customers. Again, just a high level sort of overview. We've been around for over 20 years. Based in the US, we focused most of our partnerships with our customers in the US, Canada, Latin America, and the Caribbean. Our focus has largely been on video, Android TV. So when most operators have moved to IP in the North American market, and this has happened over the last 4 or 5 years, and we've been a part of that transition. So it used to be the old QAM boxes. Virtually every operator in the US now is IP only. So everything is adaptive bit rate, over the top, using largely Android TV. If you're not a Comcast, which is RDK, the big tier ones use the RDK platform, but the vast majority of cable operators in North America are on Android TV. They're also using TiVo as their middleware platform. So we have integrated our hardware on Android TV's operating system and TiVo's user experience. All of these products have been integrated with Netflix. We do probably somewhere between 40 and 50 certifications with Google and Netflix a year for all these platforms. So there's approximately 12 million of our Android TV set-top boxes deployed in operation today in the markets in the Americas. We also have seen that the video maturity of video is happening in the US. So I think what we're seeing here is that trend is starting to happen in Europe. But there's still a lot of legacy that you're going through. But we're seeing a maturity of video, and for us, we needed to diversify. So we've now expanded our products into the broadband space. One of the reasons we did that is that, as you know, video is the biggest consumer of bandwidth obviously on your core network, your backbone, and into the access network. And the only way to deliver a high quality video streaming service is to make sure that the Wi-Fi network in the home is stable, powerful enough to handle multiple streams of 4K content. So we've developed a line of broadband products that using Plume as we'll call it the operating system, the management of Wi-Fi, to ensure that high quality connectivity between your network and the device that the streaming device, set-top boxes. So we'll have a little bit more on that as well. But basically, we're replicating what we did in video, a partnership with TiVo, a partnership with Google. We're doing a similar thing in a partnership with Plume to package our hardware with high quality managed Wi-Fi platform. Our head office is in Denver, but because we do a lot of business with OEM manufacturers in Asia, we've got facilities in Asia in particular. We have Geir up in Norway, but again, most of our business is on the other side of the hemisphere. But we're really interested to see if some of the experiences that we've learned from in our markets over in North America could be applied here to help operators make that transition to all IP and to harden their Wi-Fi networks to be able to support that streaming video service. Lots of manufacturing everywhere, but everybody tends to use contract manufacturing, which we do. Here's just a poster of most of our customers. There's Liberty Latin America is one of our biggest ones. Obviously, Liberty is very big in Europe. This is the Latin American version. A slight difference with Liberty Latin America, they needed to address low cost. The revenues in Latin America are much lower than Western Europe. And so they needed different products to meet those price points. And so rather than use what Liberty Global is using in Western Europe, they've selected different vendors. And so we're probably one of their largest vendors for Latin America. But I think the price points of Latin America are very similar to markets like this. So hopefully our products are better suited for these markets.
And by all these great customers, we already have the volume for this, so we can offer a pretty competitive pricing. We're not starting from scratch in any way.
Right. There's another session next month where they're going to focus more on the video platform. But I just want to point out that we have streaming devices which are sitting up here, standard Android TV products. But what is a little different with these pieces of equipment is that we have a back office device management platform. So you can buy a retail Android TV box anywhere. But if you're an operator and you want to put that into your customer's home, you have no visibility on what's going on with that device. If the customer calls and says, I have a problem, you have no way of detecting, troubleshooting it. EDM, as we call it, Evolution Device Manager, allows you to go in. We have a software client that sits inside the box that gives you the ability to know the temperature of the CPU, the RF levels of the Wi-Fi, all sorts of diagnostic tools where you can troubleshoot that device remotely. You can software update it, all that through the device management platform. So more to talk about that the next session, but we want to just emphasize that we're not just here talking about hardware. A critical part of any hardware solution is software.
And broadband devices is basically what we are here to talk about. And actually this morning we did that little exercise to set up a small local network here. So what we actually did was that we put up a mesh network here. And this is a Plume certified boxes, so I have connected my Plume client on the PC. So we will take a look on how this can be sort of managed a little bit. But this is one of the devices. I think maybe this is the device that we identified to be quite interesting. I think this is one of the ones that are popular in LATAM as well.
Yeah, so Liberty Latin America has purchased many hundreds of thousands of these devices. They want to use, well, there's two versions. This one is just an access point. So I think what I've been hearing is that a large DOCSIS installation you have in this part of the world quite often use a gateway, so it's a modem built in with routing and Wi-Fi integrated. Those can be very expensive, and one of the challenges in having an integrated gateway is that if the Wi-Fi model changes from Wi-Fi 5 to Wi-Fi 6 to Wi-Fi 7, you have to replace everything, including the modem. So we're seeing a lot of customers going with a two-box solution, where in a DOCSIS world, you would have a basic DOCSIS modem, and you would connect to something like this device just through a LAN port. And so now you can separate your DOCSIS network, where that one modem is the only thing that you need to concern yourself with on your access network, but you have flexibility to change. If a customer wants Wi-Fi 7, you would just replace this device from Wi-Fi 6 to Wi-Fi 7, but you wouldn't have to replace the modem and all of the expense of that.
And this is a basic access point with the Wi-Fi 6 dual band. And we have a number of access points.
There's a variety of products with different specs. Wi-Fi 7, 2.5 gig. There's 5 gig symmetrical. There's 10 gig symmetrical. You know, some of these are overkill, I think, for most of the markets, unless it's a business customer that wants a higher speed, symmetrical speed, let's say. But we won't bother you with all the spec sheets. We'll leave this as for you to look at to see if there's one that may be of interest to you.
Yeah, I think our idea is that we want to try to standardize at not too many products in order to rather get the volume that makes the price competitive and not have a too big variety of products to make confusion. We also have a number of bridges and gateways.
We don't have a DOCSIS product. The DOCSIS hardware for CPE is now limited to just a small number of manufacturers, and I think it's harder to come into that marketplace and be competitive. So we have chosen a two-box solution, so we will be an access point connected to a modem, but we do have a whole series of bridges and gateways for the fiber network. So if you're putting out fiber as well as your DOCSIS networks, we can have an integrated solution that includes GPON support as well. Same situation with the fiber networks. You could have a two-box solution, a very low-cost bridge, and then use the same access points for either your DOCSIS network or your fiber networks.
And then a little bit about Plume. So as Brent said, we have been partnering with Plume and have made a great agreement with them that allows us to also introduce Plume on a specific model here in Europe, meaning that we are able to offer a CapEx model, or HFC will be able to offer a CapEx model that where you included in the price or added to the price with the hardware, you will have a Plume subscription for the life of the hardware, meaning that there is no OpEx connected to this solution. And a little bit, one of the reasons that I think is a good idea to introduce this in Europe now is that we don't necessarily have to make all the mistakes that they did in the US by having too high pricing and all these kind of things that they have tried. So I think it is now a kind of a balanced and interesting model.
We want to make this an interactive kind of demo. So for anyone who's interested, you can just log into this SSID, and what we'll do is we'll show you the visibility of all devices that are connected through one of these devices which has Plume on it. So instead of just PowerPoint slides, let's give you real-time kind of experience on it.
So Plume has kind of two levels control of the network, and one is what you have yourself, which is called Home Pass, or now very soon upgraded to be called Plume Home, which is an app that you can run on your phone where you can control the network. And there are different levels of on Plume. What we are basically showing here is what they call adapt, which is more or less basic network control over the nodes and all the devices that is connected to it.
And I think that there's two aspects of the platform. So from an operator perspective, what Plume gives you is this back office visibility for every device that you have out in the marketplace that has Plume integrated on it. So for the first time, you could have an Evolution device, you could have a Sagem.com device, you could have Vantiva device. As long as it's Plume certified, the back office will see all of those devices. So you don't have to have, we'd love you to buy nothing but our devices, but the reality is you may have a multitude of vendors. But so the advantage of Plume's back office is that you now have control over and visibility to all homes that have the Plume certified application running on them. And then the part that Geir is showing here is this is what the customer sees. So number one, the back office controls the mesh network in the home. If you've got 2 or 3 different Wi-Fi extenders in the home, Plume is doing all the work in the background, changing bandwidth steering. They will change the frequencies. They want to optimize the Wi-Fi performance in the home. The customer doesn't really know this. This is all happening under the covers, which again is a huge value for you as an operator because it's giving a better Wi-Fi experience to your customer. But this application that Geir is talking about is what a customer could do. He downloads the app in the App Store. He puts in his SSID, and now he sees his own network. He has control to, view, manage his own network with different features and services.
Every time somebody logs in with a new device, or any device actually, I am notified on my phone for control of my own network. What more I'm going to say about this is that we are showing adapt, but there are, let's say, additional modules that you can have. Also on the home is control, where you have the opportunity to set parental control and limit websites and all these kind of things that somewhat is required from the EU directives coming up in a couple of years. Yeah, you have guard. Yeah, well, I'm mixing up these two things a little bit, which is a little bit more of a security functionality. And then you have sense, which is a motion sense, which is kind of, you really can follow what's happening in your home if there are anybody there by registering the motion.
And this comes to the point we talked about adding services that are of value to the customer. What we're trying to do here and what Plume has been very successful at, is once you launch this service, you as an operator promote to the customer, here's some really interesting features that could be beneficial for you and your family. I think we all know about the concerns about children getting access to material they shouldn't be watching, or gaining access to the network when they should be doing their homework. All of these are features that can be put in the hands of the parent to control those activities. And also things like blocking ads, all those sorts of things. So these are value-added services that go over and above just the value of a managed Wi-Fi service like Plume. This is for commercial purposes. So if you have a apartment building, you can actually offer this service with security and all these other things. So it's, we can get into many layers of the features of Plume, but these are all potential opportunities for you to upsell more value-added services.
Yeah. What you have here is kind of a dashboard, and this dashboard is showing them kind of the health of the network, and the network here in this case is connected to the local hotel network. This is giving sort of a health health check of the entire setup. And we can see here that there is only one red. And then when we wonder what the hell is this, then we go in and say, okay, there is another network here that is making a little bit of interference to the network that we actually have. And this is why we don't have an even higher score on the health. And right now we have 22 devices. So let's just jump to the topology of this one.
So effectively, you can see these are all your devices. You can drill down into each one of them with RSSI levels, connectivity levels, and so forth.
So what you can see here is actually that all of these devices are connected with the 5 gigahertz, except one here that are using the 2.4 band. So let's go to my iPhone. So here you can see a little bit the characteristics of the devices that are connected, enabled, and I think you can also see a little bit of the history of how long this device has been connected. And of course, the network was set up in this morning, so it has been connected more or less and used this and this bandwidth during the day. So you can dive into each and every device, and you can do also then, you can do a lot of diagnostic. I'm not an expert, I'm not going to go through a lot of this here, but the point is that you can do remote service of the entire network from remote by doing this. I mean, I'm connected here to my own network, to the net, and then to some backend system. And I can see everything happening here.
These images we're showing here are really the back office tools. So this is your engineering group, troubleshooting, customer service, can have different views of this. So if you want your customer service people to have a limited amount of access to that, you can have permissions that will limit their ability to go in and change anything that you don't want changed. The other thing is you can aggregate this information. So if you have 20,000 or 30,000 customers all connected here, you can do health checks, you can set alarms so that you can detect things and maybe proactively troubleshoot instead of waiting for the customer to call and in an angry way to say they're not happy with the service. So there's a lot here. Again, we don't have the time, it's the end of the day, so we don't want to burden you with it, but we wanted to give you a taste of the power of this platform in really two ways. One, operationally, where you as an operator can better manage your customer experience. And number two, with the app, encourage your customer to take control of his broadband service, to manage who gets to use the service, the way the kids are using the access to the network, and which I think is really helpful for many subscribers who say, what can I do to protect my children from getting access to bad things?
Just to show you that this is live, I will take so this is all of you, and then see usage and everything that you want to know about this, and how the signal strength and how long it has been connected and how much capacity has been used and all these kind of things. And it can be useful, but for curiosity, but of course it's much more useful when you have this and somebody calls you and say, my TV is not working. No wonder it's not connected to the network.
So streaming devices will show up on here too. So you'll be able to drill down. If you had an Android TV set-top box, you can click into it and see if the connectivity is poor. So you don't have to worry about, it's not the box that's the problem, it's the connection to the box, those sorts of things. So Plume has a representative in the region. So if there was an interest for you to get more information, hands-on kind of testing and trialing of the platform, both for operations and for the app, we can have that arranged through our friends at HFC. So thank you very much,
Okay, thank you.